Mega Excadrill is one of the brand new cards coming out in the Pitch Black set, and it's actually going to be a real meta contender based on what we're seeing over in Japan. And I'm actually very excited for this deck. It's a deck that honestly seems like it has the potential to compete with a lot of the other top decks in the format. It's a very bulky attacker that hits hard and has the ability to mill cards as well. And right now there's a few different ways to play the deck, so today I really want to just kind of talk about those different ways and kind of give you the benefits of each version of the deck. So Mega Excadrill is one of the new cards coming out in the Pitch Black set. This deck is focused around Mega Excadrill itself. It is one of the kind of more meta relevant decks in Japan. They do of course get the set a little bit earlier than us, so we have had some results over in Japan. And essentially it is a 3-price Pokemon with 340 HP. It's got 2 very solid attacks. The first attack, Undermine, does 90 damage. You also get to discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. But the second attack is kind of our main attack here, and that is Maximum Drilling for 200 damage plus 130 more if there's a total of 5 energy on this Pokemon. And I'm wondering, how do we accomplish 5 energies on one Pokemon? Well, it's very simple. We have Matang from Temporal Forces. Kind of a throwback card. The last time I really played this card was back when Dialga V-Star was a thing. You know, that won a regional a couple of years ago. This card is still in our format for a little bit longer, so it's going to pair just nicely with Excadrill. Got the Metal Maker ability. Once during your turn, you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck and attach any number of basic metal energy to your Pokemon. And so if we set up multiple Matangs, we can use multiple Metal Makers and we can get multiple energy onto our Excadrill. Now over in Japan, this is the most recent tier list here. This is kind of based on local results in Japan, so nothing crazy, no like regional level tournaments. It's kind of more local stuff, and it is kind of results based. And so as you can see here, obviously Dragapult is S tier, there's no surprise there. But over in the B tier, because nothing's good enough to be an A tier, in B tier we have Dragapult with Blaziken, and then we have Terra Box there, like kind of the Terra slot box type of stuff. And then right after that, we do have Mega Excadrill. And there's a lot of reasons why I think this deck is going to be pretty solid. It does have its flaws. Every deck right now does, besides Dragapult, obviously. So there are some things with this deck that aren't super great, but for the most part, it's a very powerful deck that deals with a lot of the top decks in the format. Before I show off the 2 different types of builds that we're seeing, I do want to just kind of give a quick explanation of how the deck works. Very simple breakdown here. It's a pretty, I'd say, straightforward deck. There's not a whole lot to it. If you like a deck that just hits hard and is consistent at setting up, being able to play the game, this is definitely the deck for you. We've talked about what Mega Excadrill does for the attacks. We've talked about what Matang does as far as supporting the Pokemon with metal energy. We also have the single prize attacker here with Metagross. So at any point in the game, you can evolve one of your Matangs up to Metagross, and it does have the Metallic Hammer attack, which does 150 plus 150 more if you discard 3 metal energy from this Pokemon. So obviously this card is played in Slowking, as we've seen multiple times. Just a very, hard-hitting card. In this deck, we actually do have to discard our metal energy because we play metal energy, but essentially it gives you a single prize attacker that can hit for 300 damage. A lot of these lists are playing Gravity Mountain as well, so you could one-shot things like Dragapult. So it's a really good solid single prize attacker to kind of offset that prize trade at any point in the game, and it gives us just an alternate attacker from Mega Excadrill, which is a 3-prize Pokemon. And the other important piece of the puzzle here is going to be the Genesect EX here, which was previously played a lot in Goldango. It does have the Metallic Signal ability, so once during your turn, you can search your deck for up to 2 Metal Evolution Pokemon and put them into your hand. So this is our consistency card here. This allows us to grab Matangs, we can grab Excadrills. It allows us to essentially guarantee that we can set up our board. So essentially the goal of this deck is to set up all your basics turn 1, use Genesect to grab a couple of Evolution Pokemon, and then during your next turn, use Genesect again to grab some more Evolution Pokemon. And by your second turn, you're already swinging for big damage, or at the very least, you're discarding cards from your opponent's deck. So with this deck, there's essentially 2 ways to play it right now. One build is focused around Precious Trolley as the A spec, and the other build is focused around Secret Box. I'll kind of explain the benefits of each version of the deck. Both of these results here are from the Indonesia Masterball League. This was a big tournament over in Indonesia, and it had like over 1,000 players. There were 2 Mega Excadrills in top 32, one finished 25th place, one finished 26th place, and conveniently they played different A specs, so we have both of their builds to look at here today. So this first build here is the 25th place list. It does focus around Precious Trolley. As you'll see here, they have very low counts of things like Ultra Ball and Buddy Buddy Poffin, 1 count of each of those, essentially saying that, hey, once we use Trolley, we have everything set up. We don't really need Pokemon Search after that. So essentially what we're doing with this type of build is we are going all in on the Precious Trolley. We're playing 4 copies of Team Rocket's Petrol. We're playing copies of Poké Gear to find Team Rocket's Petrol. And we're also playing copies of Team Rocket's Transceiver to find Petrol as well. And obviously with the Petrol, we're able to grab the Precious Trolley. So essentially, you've got 4 cards that can find Trolley, 4 cards to find the card that can find Trolley, and another 2 cards on top of that. So a total of 6 cards to find Petrol, to find Trolley. So essentially we have a ton of ways to find Precious Trolley. And even with this build, a lot of these types of builds are playing not even 4 counts of Drillbur. Some are playing 2 or 3 from what I've seen. Just again saying that once we have Trolley up, we can find all of our basics that we need. And once we're set up, like the only way they're going down is if they get knocked out. So a lot of these types of builds are really focused on that turn 1 consistency, being able to set up your board like every single time, turn 1. Just kind of allowing you to essentially, you know, get set up from the beginning and start steamrolling your opponent. So that's essentially the goal of this type of deck. The other style of build here that we are seeing is the Secret Box build, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it that this is my favorite version of the deck. So again, it's very focused on the consistency of being able to set up your board. Instead of using Precious Trolley, we are using Secret Box, and because of that, this style of build for the most part is playing more consistency cards. We're seeing 4 copies of Drillbur. We're seeing more copies of Buddy Buddy Poffin. I've seen some play 3. I've seen some play 4. We're playing heavier counts of like the actual stuff we need to find rather than the counts of stuff to find the 1 card that can get us everything, if that makes sense. You get what I'm trying to say. And so by playing Secret Box, it allows us to also add some more stuff to the deck. So obviously we can add more consistency cards like Buddy Buddy Poffin, right? Because we're cutting down on the Team Rocket's Transceivers. We're not having all these cards that are just built to find that 1 card. So essentially we're trying to put more of the good cards in our deck and also giving us an ace spec that can be used at any point in the game. Pretty much with Trolley, if you don't set up like turn 1 or turn 2 with Trolley, a lot of times it's just kind of a useless card. So now we have some more space in the deck for things like Brave Bengal, which we can use on Metagross. We have things like Shaman, which can protect our bench, because if you think about it, we go up against a Slow King, they're able to easily one-shot our Metangs with Curums, so it essentially allows us to play more like tech cards that we can find at any point in the game with Secret Box. So here's my kind of simple breakdown of the different ace specs, kind of the pros and cons with these 2 here. So starting off with the Precious Trolley, like I mentioned, it is going to be the best first turn consistency card that there is. This kind of only applies, I would say, when you're going second. You know, when you're going first, you can't play Petrol. So a lot of times you're not going to be able to find that Trolley turn 1 if you're going first. If you're going second, you're more than likely going to set up every single time unless it's prized. So you always want to go second if you are playing Trolley. And this allows you to set up your entire board, right? So like with Secret Box, you can find like 1 Buddy Buddy Poffin, but you're not able to set up your entire board off that 1 card. With Trolley, you can set up your entire board for the game, and you are essentially good to go. Another benefit to this is that it's a very straightforward game plan to start. Every single game, you know what you want. You want to go second. You want to find Trolley by finding Petrol. If you don't have Petrol, you hopefully have a Transceiver or a Poké Gear to find it. Like, you want to start the game off by playing Trolley, setting up your board, and you are good to go. The bad part with this version of the deck is it is absolutely terrible when it's prized. When we look back at the list here, you'll see that the other Pokemon search options we have are Ultra Ball and Buddy Buddy Poffin. That's pretty terrible. So, because we only play 1 copy of each of those. You do also have the Drillbur, which has Call for Family, so that is an option as well, but it kind of means that you have to like take a turn off to use Call for Family, which isn't always great, but you do have that option with Drillbur, which is nice. But pretty much if you prize Trolley, it's pretty much GG's if you can't get set up. So it's pretty bad. And the other bad part about Trolley is item lock. So if you do have to go first at any point, you're up against Dragapult, which is obviously the best and most popular deck in the format right now. More than likely, they are going to start item locking you from their first turn. So if you don't get that Trolley going first turn 1, you're probably not going to get it all game. So the bad part about playing Trolley is that once you start getting item lock, it's like really bad, you know what I mean? Secret Box on the other hand here is a really great consistency card with Petrol. So Petrol allowing you to find any trainer card means that at any point in the game you can find your Secret Box, and it can really help you get set up early game or late game. So early game you can use it to find like Buddy Buddy Poffin, find another supporter like a Lilies. You can find like an air balloon, whatever you kind of need to find, you can just find it early on and just get set up off of that. And what's nice about it too is that with these Secret Box builds, you are playing more copies of stuff like Buddy Buddy Poffin, so there's a good chance that early on you don't really need to burn your Secret Box. You can use a Petrol just to find a Poffin. Chances are you're gonna have 1 or 2 basics in your hand. So let's say you have a Drillbur and a Beldum to start off the game, you can now use Buddy Buddy Poffin to grab 2 more Beldums, or a Beldum and a Drillbur. Like, you can find your Pokemon off of Petrol and grabbing the Buddy Buddy Poffin rather than burning your secret box early unless you have to. And that's because unlike Trolley, secret box is also a really good card in the mid to late game. It's a card that allows you to find exactly what you need whenever you need it. That's what's really good about secret box. So if we're in the late game, I can find my boss's orders and my Brave Bangle, and I can also find my Ultra Ball to evolve into Metagross. I can find my Gravity Mountain. Like, you can find all these like specific tech cards off of secret box at any point in the game. You can find your Jumbo Ice Cream, your Energy Recycler. Whereas without this card, you don't really have a great way to search for those cards. I mean, you do have Petrol, but you're only finding one card. With Secret Box, you're finding up to 4 cards, which is obviously very strong. So I think when you have a straightforward deck like this, like, you want to have some level of, like, I guess, agency behind it, if that makes sense. Like, you want to be able to have a card that allows you to do something other than a straightforward game plan, I feel like. And I feel like with how these secret box builds are being built, they're still very consistent, but you now have a card that kind of unlocks more to the deck. The bad part about playing this version is that most secret box builds are not playing as many ways to find the cards, so we are still playing 4 copies of Petrol. We're not playing any more transceivers, so we don't have a guaranteed way to like find it early on, but we still have the ability to find it at any point in the game. And for those reasons, I really think that Secret Box is kind of the best ace spec to go with here. I think Trolley is really good just to consistently play the game, but I think the Secret Box build doesn't like deviate from that too much. You still have a lot of consistency, but we now have room for more tech cards, and we have the ability to find those cards that we need at any point in the game. Let me know what you guys think of this deck in the comments below. I'm very excited to test it out. I've done no testing at all with this deck, to be honest. I've been playing a lot of the hide and sneak deck. I've been playing a lot more Festival League. That's been a fun deck with the new Gladion card. So this is the deck that I definitely want to get my hands on once the cards come out. I'm excited to use Matang again. It's been a minute since I've used it, so very excited for the Metal Makers. And yeah, I really think this is a very powerful deck in the meta game. You know, weakness to fire isn't always great, but I think you have so much HP that you can kind of get around that. Aside from like Dragon Ball Blaziken, really the only fire type Pokemon that a lot of decks are playing is Moltres, which isn't one-shotting Excadrill, so that's kind of nice. And I just think it's a really strong deck because you have the ability to, like I said, you can mill some cards early on and knock out things like Dracloak or like Diplins, that kind of stuff. And then you also have an attack that can basically one-shot anything in the format. So there's a lot of good things with this deck. I'm excited for it. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.